Everyone at one point or another has played Mario Kart. It's the epitome of party games. Whether you're playing Mario Kart alone or with friends, you know you're gonna have a blast. You can lose track of time so easily when playing this game. Even if you're a Mario Kart veteran, there may be some things that you don't know about the game. That's why we've compiled a list of 10 things you might not know about the karts in Mario Kart. More specifically, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Before we begin, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all of our awesome videos, and click that bell to become part of our notification squad. Number 10. Slipstream behind drivers for a boost. This may seem pretty obvious, but it's pretty easy to miss given the jostling for various positions that constantly takes place once the race begins. It may be a smart decision to stay in line with the person ahead of you to get a cheeky little boost instead of trying to get in the lead right away. We all know that there are constant lead changes in Mario Kart, so the one who begins in first doesn't necessarily win the race. Known as slipstreaming, many racing games utilize this feature because it does exist in real life. In Formula 1 and NASCAR, the cars are aerodynamically designed, so staying behind a car will save you gas and increase your speed. Now, you never have to worry about refueling in Mario Kart, but you can use the speed boost to your advantage. Simply tail the person ahead of you and you'll start to see small wind lines appear around your kart. If you maintain this position, you'll get a boost of acceleration to overtake the person in front of you. Now, this is easier said than done and involves good timing because the karts are very twitchy and don't stay still much with all the twists and turns on each course, but it is a useful tool to have. Number 9. Chain jump tricks to stack boosts. Speaking of environmental objects which trigger boosts, you can chain multiple ones together, barely touching the ground as you go. Anytime that there's a slight ramp, you can press R to fly into the air and do a trick for a quick boost, and you can do it over and over again to chain boosts. Now, there are only a few courses that allow this to happen, but Rainbow Road can be dominated by chaining jump tricks due to their twisty roads full of ramps. It's also just incredibly fun to jump around Rainbow Road and fly past everyone as they scratch their heads as to how you're boosting by them. Don't worry about the physics of hurling your character directly onto an incline. The trick boosts override everything that would kill your momentum in any other racing game. Jump trick chaining can be done an infinite amount of times, given the environment permits it, and if you're looking for somewhere to practice, load up the Excitebike course. It's a great retro course based off the 1985 NES Classic, full of repeated angular jumps which are perfectly placed to be chained in the 150cc and 200cc speed classes. Hey guys, we're very excited to announce the Premium Network. The Premium gets you early access to videos from The Richest, Screen Rant, The Taco, The Sportster, The Things, and many other great channels. Literally thousands of videos in one place with ad-free browsing. Check out the Premium by clicking this link. Sign up for free and start binge-watching videos from your favorite channels. Number 8. Use Auto Accelerate to reduce hand cramp. Most of us who first started Mario Kart 8 Deluxe initially turned off the 3 aids in the game. The first of these 3 aids is auto steering, which makes sure that you don't go off-road. This is useful for very young players who are just starting off, but I highly doubt any hardcore Mario Kart veterans are using this feature. Seriously, if you're a Mario Kart veteran, don't use this feature. The second aid is tilt controls, which obviously allows you to steer using motion controls, which is fun if you brought a steering wheel. The third aid is the most useful out of them all. Auto Accelerate allows you to take your finger off of holding the A button while racing. It will automatically accelerate your vehicle, reducing the discomfort and cramping of holding the A button down all the time. Good job, Nintendo. It's about time you tried saving some of those thumbs. We recommend turning this feature on so you can solely focus on braking, drifting, and item use. You'll no longer have to deal with tremendous pain in your right thumb. It may not sound like much, but this feature can be a godsend if you're having trouble using the puny Nintendo Switch Joy-Con. Number 7. Soft drift to build boosts without turning sharply. When we're playing Mario Kart and come to a little turn, we often press R to drift and move the control stick in the direction that we'll be turning. This may be because of instinct, but it's not the most effective strategy. While we do get a nice little boost by doing this, you'll forever be feathering your steering left and right to avoid turning too sharply and possibly going off-road, throwing away precious time. That's why the less experienced players only drift on wide turns. Many Mario Kart 8 Deluxe players may not know what soft drifting is, but once you learn, it's all you'll be doing when you race. Just like regular drifting, you press R to initiate the drift, but the difference is what you do with the control stick. When soft drifting, move the control stick to the upper diagonals. If you're turning left, move the control stick to the upper left and vice versa. This way, your kart will still build up boost while not committing to a sharp turn. There will also be less of a chance of you leaving the tarmac with no boost. Soft drifting is the future of go-kart racing. Number 6. The acceleration stat bar is glitched. Once you've chosen your your character and are customizing your kart, you can press the plus or minus buttons to bring up the statistics of the kart. The statistics include speed, acceleration, weight, handling, and traction. All of these stats are pretty self-explanatory, but what most players don't know is that the acceleration stat bar is glitched. All of the stat bars go up by quarters, so for example, your speed could be 3 bars and a quarter, while your acceleration can be 2 bars and 3/4. This may seem fine, there's nothing which really stands out, but even though your acceleration is 2 bars and 3/4, it's really only 2 bars. While speed, weight, handling, and traction benefit from the quarter bars, acceleration does not. It's best to keep acceleration at a solid number, such as 2 or 3, or else you're wasting points you can spend on a different stat like speed. Try to keep your acceleration at a quarter bar extra at most, not a half bar or 3/4. This is a pretty game-changing thing to be aware of, and most likely flew over the head of Mario Kart veterans around the world. Acceleration is the most important stat when it comes to kart customization. Number 5. Take jumps with less air for maximum speed. Have you ever found yourself losing races because you've been stuck in midair for too long? Well, it turns out that there's a little trick which can help keep your kart at its maximum speed. The reason why a lot of us lose our speed is due to the fact that we love to do trick boosts. I mean, come on, it's pretty rad to see your character dance around on their kart as they fly 20 feet into the sky. The problem is, this need to trigger a trick boost may cost us valuable seconds towards a better lap time. 1 second can be the difference between a win and a loss in Mario Kart, and in racing in general. It's definitely a pointer for hardcore players, but if you actually hit R when approaching a ramp, before the lip of the ramp itself, you'll bunny hop over the part that would otherwise launch you, yet you'll still get the boost. It's like doing a trick boost without the wasted time of the trick. This way, you can charge straight through to the next portion of the track without ever getting hung up in midair. If this little trick can improve our lap times, it's definitely knowledge worth sharing. Number 4. The secret turbo boost trick. An oldie but a goodie. The starting boost trick has been a staple of Mario Kart and karting games in general since the beginning of time. Not all Mario Kart games require the same timing to get the boost. It has varied from one title to the next, so it requires a bit of work to master, but once you know it, you won't forget it. In Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the strength of the boost you get depends on how good your timing was. If your timing is absolutely awful, your tires will spin out and you'll lag behind everyone else. The trick to get the strongest turbo is to hit and hold the A button when the countdown number 2 finishes its descent, not when it first appears, otherwise you'll backfire and miss the window altogether. Another method is to look at Longitude, you know, the little guy on the cloud above you, and time your button press with his second red light or his hand coming down. Either way, the secret to getting a max starting boost lies in nailing this second stage of the 3-part countdown. Practice makes perfect, so you'll have it down pat in no time. Number 3. Hold an item behind you to avoid being hit. This is a fairly awkward skill to get down, but it's very useful to play some good defense, which we often forget about when racing around a course. Nothing can ruin your fun more than getting hit by an item at a crucial moment in the race. Whether it's a blue shell right before the finish line or a red shell down the final stretch, we've all gotten infuriated by annoying items at one point or another. To play some good defense and swat away all those pesky items, you have to hold an item behind you. Not every item can be used to play defense, but items such as bananas and shells can be held behind you. The trick is to hold the L button instead of pressing it so that the items stay locked behind you. Now, this can get pretty awkward to hold if you're drifting and holding the A button to accelerate, but if you have auto accelerate on, like we recommended earlier, it won't be a problem. This trick is very useful for deflecting those dastardly red shells, allowing you to make it over the finish line in one piece, but it cannot save you from blue shells. That being said, maybe there's a way to avoid blue shells. Number 2. Get the 3rd level of drift boost. Drifting goes with Mario Kart like peanut butter goes with jelly. There have been multiple levels of drifting in the franchise for decades, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe adds something that Mario Kart 8 never had: a 3rd level of drifting. Chances are you'll access the blue and yellow levels of turbo more frequently, but it is possible to access the pink 3rd stage. Don't expect to get to the 3rd level every single time you drift, or you'll find yourself going off-road pretty often. It may seem like it's taking forever, but sooner or later, you will notice the pink sparks around your tires. Just keep drifting into the direction that you're heading and you will reach the 3rd level of drift. You could even use soft drifting to maximize efficiency and prevent some awkward drifting. Releasing the L button once you see these pink sparks will give you the biggest boost in the game. The amount of time you spend drifting to get this boost is worth it. The boost feels like it will never end. It's like a mushroom on steroids. This boost is perfect for rocketing out of any final turn to steal victory from under the competition. Number 1. 3 ways to dodge a blue shell without a super horn. It wasn't until Mario Kart 8 that Nintendo included a specific object which counters blue shells: the super horn. That being said, there are multiple ways to avoid being taken out if you don't have one. First, if you're in possession of a mushroom, use use it when the shell turns upwards and the split second before it homes in, and you'll boost through the blast radius it produces, surviving the attack. Second, if you've got the track to spare, slow down when the blue shell marker appears at the bottom of the screen and let another player overtake you. Blue shells stop when they hit the person in first place, so let your tailgating opponent take the lead, then get taken out so you can resume leading the pack. Lastly, and the timing on this one has to be exact, driving off the edge and letting Lakitu pick you up will avoid the explosion too. It may not be possible in every situation though. You need to careen off the edge and have Lakitu's fishing hook animation connect when the shell would, cancelling each other out. Do it too early or too late and you'll still get hit, but if you get this right, the respawn time of getting back on the course is shorter than being hit and going through the annoying animation. Well, we hope you learned some new things about the karts in Mario Kart and now have plenty of tricks up your sleeve to unleash against your friends. Let us know of anything about the karts we may have missed in the comment section below. Also, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with our awesome playlist. Thanks for watching.